Good evening. Welcome to the Between Three Beards podcast. This is episode 5. I'm here with Trey and Alan. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
What's up?
So, tonight we wanted to talk about something a little bit different, a little interesting, some little off the beat topics. And I think Alan, you had something you wanted to bring up first, right?
So we're kind of just do like a little kind of strange, unusual, like unsolved mysteries kind of thing going on, and I decided to talk about the Dyatlov Pass. Have you guys heard of that?
I have.
Okay.
I think
Well,
that's not to give anything away, but that's like some weird like occurrences happened and they called it like nuclear or something like that. A bunch of
well,
people had some
there's
things
some
happen to them.
weird shit happened in Russia, man.
Right.
So there's these ski hikers, right? I mean, it's in Russia. There's a lot of snow. It's cold as hell. So
Yep.
they got skis and they like hiking, and they went up one night. Uh, it never says where in Russia it is, which kind of leads me to believe in one of the theories, which I'll get to later. So they got caught in a little bit of a snowstorm. So in order of going back down to, population, they had to camp out, and they never came back.
Huh.
So,
Oh,
a
shit.
day or two goes by, people are like, where the hell are all these dudes? So they set up a rescue party and they find them. They find empty tents, right, that have been cut open from the inside.
Right.
Yeah, and they found a few bodies, uh, some wearing socks, some wearing a boot or a shoe, some completely barefoot, and just separated. Like not all like I think there was one, two, three, four, five. I think there's about six of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's right.
at first, the looking at the scene, all right, these folks died from hypothermia exposure,
Right.
and when they get the bodies, back, and they actually, there was actually a lot more evidence than the bodies can show you. There was a lot of blunt force trauma,
Yeah.
so much so that it caved into somebody's skull.
Yeah.
Somebody was missing a tongue, and then there were some people that were badly burned with third-degree burns.
Right.
There were some where limbs were missing.
What
There were some
I
that had this like kind of green. Uh, I know you've seen it like in movies, like what's RoboCop, the first RoboCop movie, where that one dude that got splashed with all that shit, and he fucking just melted, like his skin was melting. It kind
Oh
of,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
looked like that.
Like battery acid.
Yeah, just acid. It looked like just somebody just like, but it was like an open wound.
Right.
That like that on the outside of the wound, it was like this kind of whitish burn green thing going along with it, right?
Ugh.
Um, and so here's the theories. Uh, they actually did find some of their clothing to be radioactive.
Yeah. See, that's what I had heard from it, is that they had some radioactivity in the area. And they
Mhm.
had, I think, two people tried to climb, well, like they tried to climb the trees,
Yeah,
but they, like the ends of their fingertips were like down to the bone. Like they were trying so hard to climb the trees, but they couldn't.
yeah,
It's like, what the fuck happened?
right. I mean, people think that it could be alien UFO activity, it's the radiation, and uh, might explain some of the blunt force trauma and
Yeah,
maybe
the
third
weird,
degree burns and
yeah, skin melting.
and shit like that. And then also others believes that the a Yeti was responsible, the abominable snowman.
Right.
Um, But here's what I kind of believe. Uh, of course, the Russian government was definitely hush hush about all this,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and apparently there is a military installation not too far from where these cops and mountains are, and a lot of people think it's KGB related. Like these hikers got too close to a military compound, and they just got dealt with.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you think
Uh,
like they just have some kind of like defense mechanism to where like if people get too close, they just like blast them with a shitload of radiation and just melt
Something
them?
like that. Yeah.
God.
I doubt like somebody was actually physically there to beat the shit out of them or something like that.
Oh yeah, there's no
That,
way.
yeah, but here's one theory that's very interesting, but is way the fuck out there. Um, there's a theory that what's it called? It's a phenomenon called infrasound, INFRA sound,
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of
and
that.
it's like the way the wind interacts with the topography, like the mountains, hilltops, stuff like that, can create like a very audible hum
Right.
that can sometimes induce powerful feelings of nausea, panic, dread, chills, nervousness. Wow, glad I can talk today. Raised heart rate and breathing difficulties, and some people just think it's some inhuman force.
Oh,
It's
for
also
sure.
available.
That's what I mean, that's what it seems like. But
Yeah,
like
it sounds
I
like
don't
somewhat
know.
of a bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's kind of like the Ark of the Covenant or whatever, and they
Yeah,
open the box and they just melt.
yeah,
It's like somebody
yeah.
opened the box right near them or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I got for that one, man.
Cool, man. Well, I had one that I figured you'd probably be really interested in, and this
Okay.
is about the swords that the Vikings used.
Swords of the Vikings. Okay.
Yes, and history still doesn't have an answer for this. So this is pretty interesting.
Okay.
So you've heard of like the Ulfbert Viking swords, like the Ulfberht.
Yes,
Ulfbert.
I've heard the name. The name sounds familiar.
Right. So the Vikings called this Valyrian steel, but history and historians call it the Ulfbert Viking swords.
Okay.
So basically, these were the swords the Vikings used, but they were made in such a way that didn't get invented for 800 years more like further in time. So like they were using these swords and the way they were made 800 years before that even was invented.
Hmm.
So the swords they found the most, I guess, the ones that they were supposed to be Valyrian steel,
Mhm.
were dated to be 1,000 years old, but the method for producing that steel of that quality didn't exist until 800 years later.
Well, I
So,
mean, could it be possibly they just knew about the technology and we didn't know they knew?
well, that's the thing is they were, making Damascus steel in
Persia?
Eastern
Yes.
European Asia area. They were
Yeah.
making Damascus steel, but they knew about that, but they were making this way before Damascus, and it was only in that area. I was like, how could you only have that particular steel or that particular item there in that one specific area in like the Finland area?
Do you think it
You
could
know,
be like maybe like a meteorite kind of metal from space that's
could
only
be.
around and that's that one area or
It could
like,
be.
yeah.
I mean, they said that the metal that these swords were made with had
Mhm.
3 times the carbon content of swords that, say, like the Roman Empire was using.
Right.
And they had the strongest military around. But these swords were said to contain 3 times the carbon content. And it says to create a sword so absent of impurities, so basically completely perfect, a blacksmith had to reach a temperature of 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's not something that you can just get with a normal fire, you know?
Right.
And so, like, that wasn't around, that wasn't available. So, like, the historians are saying that it may have come out of the Middle East where they were making Damascus steel, and maybe that was where they, found just this different type of metal that just appeared. But
Mm,
of course, you ask the Viking colonies, and that's what they call it Valyrian steel, which is steel from the gods, basically. So
something like that.
they were bestowed upon this metal, this ancient metal that was going to make them more powerful than anybody else. And that's like very crazy to me because they were saying just how they put it together. Like, you can't get a sword so perfect without getting it this hot.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do that. They physically could not do that. So, like, how did they forge these blades and get them to that point if they didn't
I'm
have the
guessing
technology?
with the help of Thor.
So that's what I'm saying. It kind of draws you in. You're like,
Mm.
okay, that is kind of strange that they didn't have the technology to make these, but that's what they used, and that's what we're finding now in that area. And it's like the perfect weapon.
Well, I think anything involving the Vikings is mysterious because they're so.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, and that's the thing
oh,
is, it all ties back to um Thor, and he has Mjolnir, which is
yeah,
basically made of an indestructible metal hammer.
yeah.
But he also uses what is his axe called?
His axe is called sh-
I can't
uh,
remember. It's like Wolf something.
I'm getting my Marvel card taken from me from my coworker tomorrow. No, um, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Is
I
it?
can't remember.
It's not World Breaker. It's
Stormbreaker.
yeah, I was close.
But that basically is made of basically the same steel. So they're saying, or the theory is that the Vikings were, they were ahead of us the whole time, and they were actually speaking with, ethereal gods, and they provided them with the strongest weapons known to man. Basically, that's kind
Um,
of the theory.
I
It's
don't know
pretty
if you
crazy.
guys played that Assassin's Creed Ragnarok one about the Vikings.
I,
Um,
I think Trey. I think you did, didn't you?
No, I fell out on that one. Was I played Origins and Odyssey back to back, and I was like, yeah, I couldn't jump right into another Assassin's Creed game. They're long as shit.
it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, I'm not going to give away any spoilers.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
But I didn't finish the game, but I did get to a part where it's kind of like like a side quest thing where you have to find this kind of glitch in, the matrix that is whatever the construct that they're, you know, bringing these memories back from, and they're piecing together small memories.
Yeah. That's
And once you complete that side quest, fucking aliens are involved with the Vikings
hmm
and coming to America.
I mean, that makes sense.
They did the same shit in Origins and Odyssey, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was boring as fuck. Stupid, silly side quests.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you think about like the real aspect of it, it kind of makes you think. It's like they didn't have the technology to make it, but they had it.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange.
There's all kinds of that shit going on. Like, did you hear about that? There's a church in England. It's not very big, but they're wanting to build like a winding staircase because they wanted to, expand. I don't know, sitting room. I don't know, but apparently, like, um, they get a knock. They're praying, whatever. They get a knock on the door, and there's this man nobody's ever heard of. He says, I'll build a staircase for you for free. You're gonna pay me nothing." And apparently, his craftsmanship was so perfect. You don't need any. It from the first step, it winds up and it's put together so well. There's no bolts. There's nothing holding it together. Pretty much,
Yeah.
it pretty much goes against all the laws of physics.
They just showed up and he built it and left. Like, they
Yeah,
didn't know who he was.
that was his thing. He said nobody can watch me work. That's my only rule.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Aliens are real, man. That's some weird shit.
I mean, I think this was more of like the leaning towards like divine intervention.
Oh yeah, and it could be.
It could be. Yeah, that motherfucker could have been an alien. I don't know.
Well, hey, lizard people, man.
Yeah.
Lizard people, Trey.
Nah, I don't want to dive too deep into that. That'll get me fired up too quick.
I was poking at you, bro.
Oh no, you're good, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Well, I mean, that's like there's just so much stuff that's unexplained. This is like one people seem to talk about a lot, but like, how the hell were the pyramids made so perfectly?
Yeah,
and they're still standing today.
Yeah,
And how each of the stones were like perfectly cut to where it just don't add up. I mean, look at the Mayans, their civilization. All that shit was like how they built all those temples and stuff. Like how, and it's just crazy. It's just.
Well, there's also pyramids in the UK. There's pyramids in North America, not just South America.
Yeah.
There's also pyramids in Asia.
Yeah.
So a lot of people tend to think that this is kind of like a UFO super highway, or maybe they create like a gateway that's kind of like a stargate for another world to come through, kind of,
Yeah, like it has its own powers or something that allows them to come through.
Well, and there's those paintings on the wall in some of these pyramids. They had like that one where it looks like this huge fucking light bulb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously this was 7,000 years ago, or 6,007, 8 before Christ. So that's
probably
like 2,000 right there.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you guys just a brief like overview of. I've always been infatuated with the King Arthur and the Arthurian tales. Now, a lot of it is a good mishmash of different tales from different countries. And the funny thing is that it's supposed to be set in England, where the majority of like the fantastical tales come from France, which is their old fucking enemy.
Right.
Like the sword in the stone, or the lady presenting the sword from the water.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff. And if you think about it, like they expected Arthur to be around anywhere between the 6th or 9th century. Back then, they weren't too smart, and they're extremely either religious or what's the word where baseball players wear their jock straps and never take them off.
Oh,
disgusting.
Yeah.
You talking about oh my god,
like a superstition?
Yes, superstitious. Yes,
very superstitious. I mean, these people
were Wonder.
Traveling on the oceans, and they were probably seeing like beluga whales and saying, "Hey, that's got knees, so it must be a mermaid."
Oh my god!
Yeah. They probably ate some fucking weird mushrooms in the woods, and they saw a bunch of shit.
Well, I think me and Alan have seen the again back to Viking stuff, but yeah, I mean that's what I liked about the Northmen. Cause it how it dives into the Norse mythology, and you see it as like a grounded approach, how they believed in it and saw it,
Mhm.
and like how they talked, and it's really cool. But like a viewer just watching it, wanting to, expected to be like Braveheart or Gladiator, is going to like not really enjoy it because they're like, what does all this mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're familiar with the mythology side of it stuff, it's like, okay, these dudes really truly believed in this, and in
Yeah.
their mind, they're doing the will of the gods, even though they're blowing their horn, coming in on these boats and just taking over villages and just killing all these people and looking at this cross like, what the hell are these people believing? They believe in this dude that's nailed to this cross, like a
Yeah.
bunch of
Well,
whack
essentially,
jobs. When in reality, they're the whack jobs too because they're just savages.
Yeah.
yeah, they're savages, and that's why I think people. I think that's where Merlin comes from because we it held up all the way up until colonial periods where a woman fixes a tonic to help your toddler get better, and oh nope, she's a witch burner.
Yep.
Yes.
Like Merlin could have done something to help aid Arthur in a way that was deemed weird to other people. It was like, this dude's a
Right.
wizard.
Right.
And but what I always kind of really thought and believed, and I think the Clive Barker movie, Clive Owen, I'm sorry, the Clive Owen movie, I think that really holds the most truth. That he wasn't really necessarily a king per se. He was perceived that way because he actually fought off an army trying to take over England. And
Right.
I think everybody would agree that that would be, the Saxons. Coincidentally enough, the Saxons were a leftover tribe of, guess,
The Vikings.
the Vikings that
Yep.
are were like a nomadic tribe that normally hung around Germany at the time.
Yeah.
He could have been he could have been a Roman centurion. We don't fucking know.
Yeah. That's true.
Uh,
But you run into that as well. You have, him with the Knights of the Round Table, and
well,
then that kind of produces what becomes the Knights of the Templar, like later on.
it does, but it actually it goes it's deeper than that. What the Round Table was originally was the basis of one of the beginning forms of democracy
Right.
after thousands of years after Athens, Greece.
Right.
Instead of having like one leader that just told everybody what the fuck to do, it's like, okay, well, let's all discuss face to face what's the best option.
Right.
And apparently, I've heard many stories that it was actually a gift from Maid Marian. And a word around campfire is Maid Marian actually came from France, which I've never heard before until I kind of researched this a little bit.
Right.
Um, because we always, we're like, we all seen the movies, we all seen the, read the books, whatever. She was a wealthy landowner's, daughter,
Right.
you know, all that fun jazz. But yeah,
Well,
I always thought that shit was real interesting.
yeah. I mean, and then kind of if you impose that over like what the Knights, I kind of like look at that and kind of think the same thing of the Knights Templar because they were doing the same. They were kind of trying to do the same thing, but they were doing it under like a religious um undertone, basically. So
Yeah,
they're saying,
they were doing it under the Roman Church, the
right.
Roman Catholic Church.
So they're basically saying we'll, you know, do like take over anywhere or protect anything we have to because if we are told to from the church, and that's when the
Mhm.
church was like the biggest thing. And then of course that gets into several big items that are said to exist that we haven't found yet, which is the
The Holy
Ark of the
Grail.
Covenant, the Holy Grail, yeah, stuff like that. Like that stuff that like, oh, it existed. Okay, but where is it now? It's like, oh well, the Knights Templar took it and they hid it somewhere. But it's
Right.
like They were all over the world. Like they found artifacts from them literally in every continent.
Yeah, and then they're pretty much were mercenaries if you think about it. And then they got so powerful where the Roman Church was like, yeah, we don't like you anymore. We're
Yeah.
gonna destroy you all, hence Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they call it, decimation. Whenever they
Yeah.
actually killed off, they had to get rid of the people that they didn't like or didn't
Mhm.
need in the ruling class anymore, so they called it decimation or something
Yeah.
like that.
There was the Queen Mary of Scots, who was actually French.
Yeah.
She had pretty much every is it vice versa? She had every Protestant killed.
Yeah, I believe that's well, she was born in Scotland and then sent to France because, to actually, smooth over the, um,
Mhm.
the relations there. And then when she came back,
Wasn't Henry VIII involved?
yeah, he was trying to stick his hand in it, and he was
That
Protestant.
motherfucker.
He was Protestant. He didn't want she and, Mary's Queen of Scots' mother didn't want her to become that, so she sent her to France, where she ruled, I think, until she was 16, maybe, and then, after that, she was sent back to Scotland to rule, and, I think they all had become Protestant by then, and so
Yeah,
she didn't know how to get along with her people, which
that's what it
was
was. So I had it vice versa. Okay, so
yeah,
they're trying to kill all the Catholics off. That's what it was.
and so they were real anti-Protestant when she was born, but then when she came back to rule, everybody was Protestant at that
Yeah.
time. But yeah, that was kind of a weird. It's a weird story because
Yeah.
she ruled in France for so long, and then came back, and her country was completely opposite of what she was thinking it was going to be.
Yeah. You guys remember how she died? It was called Dippy.
Diphtheria?
No, not diphtheria. It's it's an English term for a term we have now, where basically your intestines swell up until you just die from it.
Good God!
It's not. It's not like dysentery. Actually, I think it might have been like an earlier form of dysentery.
So she was like the first form of the bloater.
I mean, yeah, like, well, like you like pretty much like your stomach and your legs would swell up real bad. And I think she was only like 42, 44 when she died.
Yeah, she was not old,
Well, how
but
back then that was kind of old if you think about it.
yeah, it was. Well, because if you got a head cold, that could kill you pretty
Yeah.
much. But it's
And they believed like bloodletting, where they would make you bleed to get the evil spirits out.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna put a leech on your eyeballs, suck the demons
Mhm.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some good stuff. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like historical mysteries, like stuff like that. We know some of it from hand down like stories, but some of that stuff just lost to time. We'll never know,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about. It's like there could have been alien intervention or divine intervention, even, and we'll never know. But
Yeah.
no one has a story that was there that can tell us. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I wanted to get into some a little weirder, a little deeper topics on
Okay.
this episode because I don't know. It seems like I think we can kind of like open up that can of worms a little bit because everybody just kind of accepts everything nowadays and
Hmm.
doesn't really ask a lot of questions. But there's still these questions about things that happened like 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And if we knew the answer to it, it might change like everyday life forever.
This is true, but there's also things happening around nowadays we can't fucking
Yeah,
understand or describe or come up with an answer to.
that's true. Which, like, you walk outside and, you know, you're like, okay, well, I see these clouds. Have you seen those lately? There's
There were
the
those huge like mushroom cloud things.
yeah, 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 and then like the big giant wall clouds. It's like an apocalyptic wasteland, like coming
Well,
for you.
yeah. It looks
A-
like an A bomb like went off like in the atmosphere, kind
yeah,
of.
and those have been happening more and more recently. I don't know why,
Shit is
but
creepy.
it's interesting. It's interesting because like yeah, something like that. Like you know what a cloud is, you know what it's made of, but
Mhm.
for it to make something like that is weird. It's like, was that made intentionally for me to see? Like, I don't know.
Oh my god, I was dating this girl at this time, and she was she was being whimsical, and she's like, I think we were at the Parthenon in Nashville, and they got that huge open lawn. We had like a big towel out, and we brought some food for like a picnic on the lawn there in front of the Parthenon. And she was like, "What does that cloud look like up there?" And I was like, What it looks like to me is a bunch of suspended water and ice particles." Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're such a fucking asshole." I'm like, I'm just being honest, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people like to say they can predict the future by looking at clouds and shit. It's like unless you know something else that I don't, I think you're full of shit.
It's ozone, bro. It's ozone.
Oh, but that's just funny. It is kind of weird though. Like some people that actually like what's his name? He tried to predict the end of the world. He was saying that the uh
Mostly know there's
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus. Well, he was actually Italian.
Maybe.
No, he
Yeah.
was French. I'm sorry.
I wasn't for sure, but yeah, that was probably the biggest fail. Which he was an astronomer, physicist, all that stuff. But like, and
Mathematician.
he predicted the world would end in prediction they
Oh,
had.
the first rule. He did come up with some that actually held water. If you bring him up, he actually did predict Russia invading the Ukraine, that it would bring on World War III,
Yeah,
and that it would actually happen in the year of 2025.
I
Uh,
wasn't far. It
yeah,
wasn't
and
far
he's
off.
saying after this war, there's going to be like 1,000 years of peace, and all the biblical stuff.
Right.
He did predict Hitler. He did predict 9/11.
That's right.
Um, but he did predict some stuff that didn't happen. Like
Right.
we're like, okay. Rumor is he was very big into opium.
Oh yeah.
Um, he was also, this doesn't really have anything to do with the subject, but apparently he was huge in it. Like he couldn't go a day without sex. Like he had to have it like at least 5 times a day.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes he screwed. I heard he screwed his own fucking dead bodies that he was dissecting. I wouldn't. I wouldn't
Wouldn't
put it past
surprise
him.
me. It wouldn't
I
surprise me at
wouldn't.
all.
A,
There's
a lot
people
of
on the
people seem to think that he was demonically possessed as well.
yeah. That's crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he he basically they said he was mainly a Bible-based person, but he would like read and interpret and then say, okay, well, that means that the world's going to end at such and such time, or this is going to happen at such and such time. As like you said, he had predicted some things, but that's just crazy to think that a person could be like a prophet or something that they could
Hmm.
predict every event known to man. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, he was a French astrologer.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we're gonna take a break here in a minute, and then we're going to come back for the second part of the episode. So we will see you guys here momentarily. Stay with us.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. This is part 2 of episode 5. And we were just wrapping up some thought-provoking ideas and topics. We were talking about possible alien introduction with some old stories and whatnot, and then we were talking about some ideas that are some things that have happened that historians still don't know how they've happened. But Trey, you have something that you wanted to go over, I think.
I don't want to talk too loud. I just want to tell the listeners if you actually have a Disney Plus account, you can make one, sign in, and everything that Alan and Tyler just covered, you can watch on National Treasure 1 and 2.
Yep.
Jesus fuck, dude.
Also, William
God.
Shatner has something on. I don't think it's on Disney Plus, but it's
National
like
Treasure.
National Treasure. I love National Treasure. I love that
I
movie.
do, man.
Oh my God.
The Masons, man. The Freemasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking shit.
Go for it,
Come on,
man.
Trey. That's what America was founded on.
Yeah.
Weird shit.
America was founded on lies.
Damn.
I don't know. I got a few topics. So this is like completely polar opposite of what you two fuckers were talking about.
Go for it, man.
No, it was good. I got some music stuff. If y'all want to get into some music stuff.
Yeah, let's get
So first one was 70s, 80s, or 90s. Which was the best decade for music? And whoa, hold on now. You got to think about that. That's not fair. So Tyler jumps right out of the gate with 80s.
Yes.
Which was very ballsy.
I did not see that coming from Tyler at all.
Why?
Dude. Well, I mean, you just came straight out of the gate. Like, you didn't even hesitate.
No, there's no hesitation there.
It's like, what kind of ice cream you want? Chocolate. It's like, you're not going to think about your other options here.
Well, if you had said 60s, I would have probably had to think of it.
No, I didn't do 60s. 60s was a great decade, but I feel like a lot what was good in the 60s toward the end, late 60s, kind of bled into the 70s. So I did 70. I kind of want to make. I didn't want to make it
to it.
I didn't want to stretch it out, and I didn't put 2000s because fuck 2000s and 2010s.
Yeah, that's when they get real weird with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good question because the 70s were the 70s and it went right to the 80s where there was no like bleed in like the 60s and 70s. There was 70s, there was 80s, and there were 90s.
Yeah.
Three completely different decades, sound nothing alike.
Exactly. 3 distinct music eras.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, we'll say the 70s, oh my God, man, that was like that just turned the tide. And then 80s is you get all this new wave shit, electronic shit just goes off the wall. But like 70s was all, I will say disco did happen in the 70s. But I mean, there's some good fucking disco bangers. I would say were a lot better than the shit they put out today.
Oh, for sure.
I'll fuck
Kiss
with some.
came out with a disco album.
Yeah, they did. That's what was strange to say, but yeah, they did.
So you come out of the gates saying 80s. Alan, what do you say?
Man,
come on, Alan. You know you want to.
The 90s was very.
That's like a pivotal point. That was before Y2K.
I mean, it was. I'm leaning towards the 70s because it was the birth of a lot of genres, like in just the sound of that raunchy, like kind of broken amp with the guitars,
Yeah.
It has that feel, and then with the 90s, it's starting to get a little bit. We don't give a fuck. Kind of vibe. I mean, you've got like Nirvana coming out, you got Soundgarden, and you got all these other, bands that are starting a little bit heavier, and a lot of talk about more about teenage angst, and there was some back in the 70s, but I mean, it was most of it about drugs and getting laid.
Yeah, we're not labeling one
I know
specific genre. No, I'm just saying that you also got to keep in mind, like, damn. So like all right, 90s. That's awesome. You got grunge scene, Seattle
Yeah.
grunge scene. That was fantastic. But then you go in the late 90s, you got boy bands. That's where it fell apart.
Exactly. Early 90s was great because you had,
I'm gonna have
Nirvana
to
and,
pass. Yeah, because
know,
70s, bro. You got one of my favorite bands, Black Sabbath.
oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It because it started the
Well,
heavy metal genre.
the 70s, you got Zeppelin, you got Pink
Yeah,
Floyd,
you
you got
do.
Beatles doing their shit. I mean, they were broken up, but look, they did their solo careers.
Stevie Wonder in the
You got Eric
70s.
Clapton, you got fucking you still got the Doors in the early 70s. I mean, I wouldn't. You got Fleetwood Mac, you got.
The
I mean, list
Eagles.
goes on and
Temptations.
on. You got Billy Joel when he was young doing his shit. Elton John. You got, and then R&B. You got you got Marvin Gaye. You got all these.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's
Sam
just
Cooke.
yeah.
Well, here, I just found this. I just pulled up. It's like the top 10 songs by decade. So 70s had 10 is Layla by Derek and the Dominoes.
Mm.
9 is Superstition by Stevie Wonder. 8's Let It Be by the Beatles. 7 is American Pie by Don McLean. 6 is Stairway to Heaven. They put that at 6 by
Mm.
Led Zeppelin.
Really?
Yeah. Hotel California at 5 from the Eagles. Bridge Over Troubled Water is 4 by Simon and Garfunkel. Staying
Some good
Alive
songs.
at number 3 by the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
Imagine is number 2 by John Lennon. Imagine. And of
God.
course, Bohemian Rhapsody at number 1.
Yeah, you
Yes,
got
But-
Queen.
bro.
That's what I'm getting at too. But and look at like I think 70s are so important because a lot of these bands started out so young and what they made in the 70s, but then they had fucking amazing 80s careers too.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, both Pink Floyd and Heart and Queen, they both had really good 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They
yeah.
those were the bands that actually kind of were able to transition between the two decades.
Look at the
Right.
Stones and Aerosmith.
Yeah.
You keep going on like it's like a never ending list. And well, you also have like it's like it's a good argument, man, because like
It's gotta be
90s
70s, 80s. Like they're
80s
neck
is a
and
good
neck.
argument because 80s had a lot of good shit too, because that was like the decade where when you had one hit wonders, they were the best one hit wonders because they were
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
good one hit wonders. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
it wasn't like 90s with Bop by Hanson. Like that's a shit one hit wonder. You had like Black Velvet by Atlanta Miles. Like that's a badass one hit wonder.
Hell
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Or I mean, you got crazy in the 80s, but the pop culture was so good with movies and shit. Movies got better. Because I mean, 70s was like Dirty Harry, fucking still westerns was a big thing.
Yeah.
And you had Rocky, but 80s kind of just completely
Predator.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Sci-fi came into it like big time.
Like Alien and Aliens. Oh my God.
Well, see, 80s you had Michael Jackson, The Police, Guns N'
Mhm.
Roses, Prince, Joan Jett,
Yeah.
U2,
Yeah. I mean,
Bon Jovi, Van Halen.
he had all those hair bands. A lot of that was nonsense. But
A lot
then
of
again,
it, yeah.
it's fun. They're fun.
Yeah.
But God, dude, it's just like the radio just doesn't like a lot of these. That's another topic too. It's like what band that gets so much recognition that you just can't stand to hear. Like you just have to turn the station because you're like, fuck, I don't want to hear this. Mine would be Van Halen. I know that's like probably going to
Yeah.
piss a lot of people off, but I just like there's some Van Halen songs I like, but when I hear Hot for Teacher or oh my god when they're doing their covers of Really Got Me, yeah,
Really Got Me, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I like Eddie Van Halen. I just don't like David Lee Roth. I think that's more of it.
I
just don't-
completely agree.
Right. Yes. 100%.
And there's gonna be people out there that are big Van Halen fans who are like, man, you just don't. I'm like, no, I can't fuck with Van Halen. Like, but I just heard the song so many times on the radio. They play the shit out of them, and it's kind of like
do.
it's almost like with Def Leppard in a way too. Like they play the same shit over and over. It's like,
Def
won't you?
Leppard, like Def Leppard and Foreigner, like their songs, all of them sound the fucking same.
Def Leppard sucks.
Yeah. I mean, they don't, but
I
If it's
love me
used-
some Def Leppard.
yeah, if it's used right. But on the radio, it's always pour some sugar on me. I
Yeah.
like Photograph, like that riff.
Love Photograph.
Yeah, Photograph's good. The slower shit, I just don't. It's just fuck. This song's boring. Hysteria. Like
I love Hysteria.
Foolin's a great song.
Yeah, Fooling is. I like that song.
I was actually Christina and I were actually waiting in at the curbside pickup for like McDonald's over the weekend, and was it Mo Wolfgang's band, Eddie's son.
I'm
Oh,
not sure.
I know who you're talking about, but yeah, I don't know the band name.
Yeah, and well, see, the song came on, and I was like, "Man, it's a really good song." She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's really fucking sad." She's like, "Yeah."
Well, it's
And
like,
then we let it play out, and she was like, "What's this about again?" I was like, "It's Eddie Van Halen's son. This is Wolfgang. That's a tribute to his dad."
yeah,
She was like, right. Yeah, it is sad. If you watch the video, man,
yeah.
if you've been drinking or use some heavy fields, it's going to make you squall.
Well, I mean, that's like "Sweet Child of Mine" with Guns N' Roses. No, "November Rain." That was the one I'm thinking of.
That's actually my favorite song of theirs.
Isn't that from like his mom or his wife he's singing about? I can't remember.
It's supposed to, the video portrays his wife, but I think it's different than that. What actually happened in his real life?
Okay, but
I
I knew
want
that was like a
yeah.
emotional song. I
Mhm.
mean, it's awesome sounding, but yeah, it's sad.
If anybody has the answer to that, you can email us at between three beards with the numerical 3 at gmail.com.
Yeah, you said that last episode, and I, like an idiot, said the letter 3.
Did I say the letter?
No, I did.
Oh,
I went back and listened to it. I was like, "Oh, you fucking idiot."
but yeah, like we want to hear from you listeners, man. If we fuck some shit up and you guys want to correct us, please go ahead. If you guys have any, opinions you want to share, let's hear it.
Yeah,
Right.
but that I just want to get y'all's that was fun. That
That's a
makes
good
sense.
topic, bro.
That
I
is
like
that
that.
makes sense. That's how it came out in the 80s. Because I know you got to look at, like, you got all this electric stuff. You got this weird shit. You got your one hit wonders like "We could dance if you wanna, we could go."
Hell
Then you go
yeah.
from that, and you got like fucking Lionel Richie, "Hello." Like, you got
Oh
so
yeah,
much.
dude, I
It's
love
all over
that.
the place, and 70s is too. But like, I mean, there's really no wrong answer with that. But
Yeah.
I feel like 90s, everything was good up until you still had a bunch of good shit in the late 90s and stuff. Like, everything was, you had
It
good
started,
hip hop,
yeah.
and it's a tough argument. But I mean, I think if you had to like really choose, I think 70s comes out because all these people did it first, and you just had. I mean, they were using instruments. They were literally
Yeah.
having to put time into this little shitty studio that, if it was in Muscle Shoals or Sound City, like they were like, so much good shit came out of Muscle Shoals and Sound
Oh yeah,
City.
dude.
Like, so many
Yes.
good albums.
I've
Yeah.
actually, unfortunately, it was one of my worst jobs ever, working for FedEx. The contractor that I was working for, all the routes were in either Florence, Muscle Shoals, and Tuscumbia. And I've driven by that studio countless times, and I was like, man, the people have been in there.
Yeah.
Exactly. The story, if walls could talk, that's the thing.
Yes,
And
fly on the wall.
we could touch more on music, but that was one of the topics. The other one, like I said, we can keep going on forever, but like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
the other one is song covers, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's start with, I mean, just, you can come to whatever top of your mind, or one cover that you're just like, fuck, that's the best one ever. No one can like taking another musician's work and making it their own. Like, no one can do it better than that.
I
So,
got you. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
either or, whichever one of you guys.
You go first because my mind is still
I've
racing.
got one perfect one, right? Johnny Cash covering Nine Inch Nails' "Hurt."
That yeah,
Yeah,
that
that is a good one.
That resonated so
excellent.
much that Trent Reznor said he did such an amazing song. That's his song now.
Yeah, you just feel the pain in that too, because I
It's
remember
very, yeah.
it hit me, man, because I was only like 10 when that came out, and I remember the music video was so fucking sad. It was just
Yeah.
so well done. The video was,
Yeah.
God, they stayed at number one on like the country on CMA forever.
Well,
Or is it
it
CMT, the station? Like, the video was
yeah.
so well done.
It was also a mainstream a lot too.
Yeah. It is. That is. Yeah, that's a very. That's almost like the perfect answer. But yeah, that easily
Well,
top five.
I
It
got
could be probably overall number one. But I mean, there's.
I got one because I just thought of this. I was thinking of saying another one, but this one came up, and I was like, no, I got to go with that one. Jimi Hendrix covering "All Along the Watchtower"
There,
from Bob
yeah,
Dylan.
that's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Yes,
Well,
which
I'm not a big fan of Bob Dylan.
I'm not either. That's
he's a
why I
great
like that cover.
songwriter, though.
Yeah, he can write his ass off in songs, but the man does have no business singing.
No, he doesn't. I think his son did pretty good though. Wasn't he in the Wallflowers?
Yeah,
Jacob
Dylan,
Yeah.
Jacob Dylan. Yeah, yeah.
One
Those are two very good answers. Like those are two I would have gone with. So, but I'm gonna go with "Bad Company" by Five Finger Death Punch.
Ooh, that's
Okay,
the
you're
shit.
fired.
No,
Right?
you gotta
Real
be kidding me.
grungy.
Fuck no. Fuck Five Finger Death Punch.
That is a good one though.
No, it's not. I was kidding. That's the
Whatever.
ugly. That's the ugly
Trey,
category.
you scared the shit out of me. I was about to say no. You're fired.
I don't know.
like it.
I don't disrespect. Like, hey, Five Finger Death Punch is your thing. That's awesome. More power to you. I just can't stomach a guy singing like he said, like strain, like he's shitting Chipotle out.
That's
I just
true.
can't do it. Like literally,
He's standing on the stage. He's standing on the stage like humping in front of like the crowd's faces. Who does that?
He tries so hard to be a tough ass with his long fake dreads and shit.
He's so gross.
I feel like their music is aimed at one audience, which is like veterans of Afghan or Iraq war. So support our troops and all that. But if y'all are cool with listening to that shitty stuff,
I was like, bro, just stop. I'll give you some Metallica to listen to.
Please, I'd rather, yes.
I will say a recent cover that was I wouldn't put in like the top 5 or top 10, probably not even top 20. I could fuck with Disturbed's Sound of Silence. Like I respected that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'm not a big Disturbed fan per se, but he nailed that one pretty deep. I mean,
I'm gonna go with one since you two said maybe the other two. I would say I'm gonna go with Sinead O'Connor. Nothing Compares to You.
Prince.
It's good shit. And then Chris Cornell did a damn good cover of it.
Oh, Chris nailed it.
Yeah. And he did a good cover of Billie Jean.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Prince was actually very renowned. He hated people covering his music. He did not like that shit at all.
Oh, actually, hang on. Sorry, let me interrupt. I'm gonna take that back. Blinded by the Light, Man from Man's Earth Band covering. That was a cover of a Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen originally did that. I'm gonna go with that.
Really? Wow.
Wait, what?
And Bruce Springsteen fucking hated the fact that they were getting so much publicity, and he's like, "This is bullshit, dude. I wrote that. I performed it." Yes, that was a Bruce
Springsteen song.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
Dude, go look it up. His version is terrible. It's like, dude, Manfred Man just shit on your own music. It's like,
look this up.
You know, however the fuck he sings.
Was it Wagon Wheel? Wasn't that a?
It's been covered so much.
Oh God.
Yeah, but wasn't it originally a Bob Dylan song?
Shit,
I don't think so. I have to look that up. I know. So Bob Dylan did everyone's covered like a Rolling Stone, of course. Yeah. Mr. Tambourine Man's been covered a lot. Like I said, Bob Dylan's an excellent. Now, hey man, I know you're not a fan of Bob Dylan, but Hurricane's a badass song. I think that's his best shit he's done. The Hurricane by Bob Dylan. That's in Days of Confused when Matthew McConaughey's walking into the pool hall.
Right.
That's good shit. That's Bob Dylan.
I'll allow it.
But yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's a damn good songwriter though. Like I respect Bob Dylan.
Soundtrack is.
I this came some of the shit that he said.
I remember one more before we go. It was in that stupid ass fucking movie, The Faculty. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
It was okay. It was members of Alice in Chains, Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, Breaking the Wall.
Covering Breaking the Wall from Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
That was great.
Korn did a cover. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So like I would put those more along in the bad category. Like they're not terrible or anything, but the ugly is definitely Post Malone covering Better Man. Oh my god. Why did Howard Stern allow this shit?
When you
Nothing
Why did
against
somebody
Post.
pay money for that?
Yeah, nothing against Post Malone. Like he seems like a really cool guy, but what the fuck was he thinking covering the song?
when you said that he actually did it, I didn't know, and I looked it up. I was like, oh my god, someone stop this man! Like that is probably the biggest tragedy
that would be in the ugly category for sure.
for sure.
And then I mean, there's more, man. That's something I want to jump on. It's like, yeah, it was like with movie studios, like they can't come up with their own shit. So like, hey, we're just going to recreate this movie 3 times. Or it's like artists are just getting lazy to where they're just like, I'm going to do my own thing to this song. And it's like, no, you just need to stop. Who did? Hey, man, here's another good example. Someone did a cover of a Fleetwood Mac song, and I was severely upset. I was like, this is horse shit. They are completely shitting. It was The Chain. Have you heard that cover?
Who did it? Who did the cover?
I don't know.
What's that? I saw it in a movie.
I was like, this is a crock. Was it The Chain
I know what
they
you're talking
did?
about. I don't know who did it, but I remember singing.
So there's this one band, I can't stand it because he does like there's a bunch of these bands that just do fucking covers, and that's how they're getting their popularity. Bad Wolves. I don't like that guy. Fuck him. He can't sing. I can't stand it. Everyone's like, dude, he's a jack guy with jazz. I'm like, yeah, and he fucking sounds like a douchebag the way he fucking looks.
What did they cover?
He did Zombie. That was, dude. I'm about to
Cranberries.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And then like, some people defend it's like, hey man, that was dedicated to what's her name? Fucking the lead singer of Cranberries. I just drew a blank. I was like, well, but she's turning in her fucking grave right now, thanks to him.
Dude, that she
horrible.
Used to be like my biggest crush. The lead singer, what was her name?
Is her first name Florence? It ain't Florence, is it?
No.
I know it's Iridian's her last name.
She's Irish as hell.
It's Dolores Iridian.
Yes.
Dolores Iridian. I said Florence. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Bad Wolves is definitely in the ugly category. Them and Five Finger with music covers. Y'all need to stop that shit immediately. I'd put Marilyn Manson in the bad. He does so many damn covers. I mean, some are okay.
What do you think about Three Teeth?
Who the fuck is that?
Wait, what?
They covered what you call it?
The Pumped Up Kicks. I thought that sounded better than the original version.
Yeah. I didn't even know who they were, and you're like, "Hey, listen to this." I was like, "Okay."
I like the one they used in Peacemaker. I don't think it was them. It was a different band that did a cover. It was like an '80s hair. I was like, I can fuck with that. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Well, I like how. I mean, it's not really covered. Yeah, this song was covered a lot, but the Stranger Things, bringing back. What's her name?
Which season? Which episode?
Season 4.
Episode what like at the end?
Hey, chill out! I ain't seen that shit.
No, I'm not.
By the way, just prepare yourself.
Yeah, it's bro. Like, as far as when it comes to streaming series, this right at the top. It's probably the best. What the fuck is her name?
So we're
anyways, she actually owns all the rights to her song. So, and it's been covered twice by two main artists. One being Placebo. They used to be like a 90s band. And so she owns all the rights and all the publishing rights to that song. And since Stranger Things have come out, she's making $1.3 million a week.
Oh my God. For covering a song.
I mean, not just really covering her song, we're just playing her song on Stranger Things. And every time it comes up on TikTok, every time it's even remotely mentioned, she gets money for it.
I'm going to tell you another band that covers a lot of songs is Stained, and I think they're all shit. It's just his voice.
It's like, when he does,
he did Comfortably Numb, and it's just him. Oh my, wailing. I mean, it's just like, we get it, dude. You have a style, how you sing shit, but you don't have to do it to this fucking song. Can you please choose something else?
Yeah.
Fuck Stain. Stain's all right.
Hot takes.
I don't know. Aaron Lewis, him and his stupid, shitty country music trend.
He does his, his.
I live down on a dirt road. Like, bro, No, stop. Another shitty. Or I don't know if you could probably put in the ugly. Yeah, or you put in bad. You put in ugly. Is Limp Bizkit Behind Blue Eyes completely shit?
Decent.
Blue eye.
Horrible, terrible.
It's not the best, but it's definitely
I
not
put it in
good.
bad. I put it in bad.
Well, you know, the Who's had that awesome part where it like
Kate
amps
Bush
up, and
is
it
her name.
has who? Kate Bush.
Kate Bush running up the hill. That's the song.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking
running
about
up that hill. Like, oh, I saw a meme where it was like, it says speaking in youth pastor voice. It's like, let me tell you somebody else who's been running up that hill to make a deal with God.
Yeah,
oh
dude.
God.
But they play that song so much because that's like her thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she's very. If you listen to her other stuff, it's very. I would say it's female Depeche Mode. Does it make sense?
Ooh, that's some weird shit. Depeche Mode's some weird shit. I like it
Well,
though.
it's very. It's
Reach
kind of
out,
dark.
touch faith.
It's kind of dark, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Embrace the silence.
Yeah,
Embrace the
that's where
silence.
80s got real fucking weird.
I mean, I love some of that stuff, but yeah, if you listen to it like for hours on end, you just start staring into blank space, and you just
Yeah, you get burnt out from it.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
That's if any viewers, listeners have some other input on the good, the bad, the ugly of song covers. Please let us know at the email at between numeral 3 beards at gmail. Correct.
that is correct.
.com. That's what we got for that. I think we kind of touched base. Another, I'll say one more I can fuck with. I listen to a lot is Corey Taylor's. I know you're not a fan, Alan.
Who is?
I liked him doing Wicked Game though. I
Yeah.
like that.
Wicked game you play.
Alan, you like System of a Down, right?
I will drive down there and punch you in the face.
Dude, so for listeners, Alan does not like Slipknot, System of a Down. Like, you severely just is hate a strong word, or would you say you severely dislike them?
Loathe is a very good word.
Yeah.
I grew up with underground metal, man. It's just, I mean, yeah, I like Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, you know, there's a lot of popular bands like that, but like the metal like nowadays is just why are you wearing a mask, bro?
Yeah.
Stop. You're an idiot.
Like in a way you could say it's like pop metal, right? It's kind of like pop.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
What do you think about
my fingers into my thighs?
Alan? What do you think about Gwar?
Okay, Gwar.
What
I will say I will not listen to any of their albums at home, but I would love to go to a live show because they put on a show, guys. Talking about a vagina that will eat you that's got a lot of teeth.
Yeah.
And there's lots of blood being sprayed everywhere. It's a fun time. It's
like, I feel like
fun time.
The only band that did it right was Kiss. I like Kiss. You probably hate Kiss, don't you, Alan?
Oh, actually, I love Kiss.
Okay, good. It's like, woof. Some people hate fucking Kiss. I'm just
they really do. Like,
I'm like, well, have you listened to Van Halen?
I mean, yes, some of their stuff is kind of really bad, but like,
80s shit was terrible.
I love Love Gun. I love Detroit Rock City. Those are my two favorite.
Dude, Strutter is good shit. Strutter is good shit. I like some Strutter. What about fucking Beth, man? That's a damn good song. Fucking that's Chris on the drums singing that.
Oh yeah, right.
Is that Catman?
Catman. That's Peter Criss.
oh, Cat Daddy.
Yeah, meow. That's
Catman.
but I had that on song covers, man, because that was like I saw that Post Malone shit. I'm like, someone's got to stop these newer artists from. Well, Machine Gun. I think I sent you all the video of the guy just like staring into space, like confused as fuck. Listen to Machine Gun Kelly's cover of "Numb" by Linkin Park.
Oh my god,
they gotta stop, man. If they gotta stop. There's a lot more I probably can't.
Why
come
hasn't
off the top of my head? But
why hasn't Eddie Vedder come out yet and just?
He probably praised him for it.
Like just like slapped him in the face.
his weird ass would probably come out. He's like, yeah, the only thing I could recommend was using a ukulele and having a bottle of wine to go along with it.
You
I
realize
That's
mean,
true.
when you sing my music, you're supposed to sound drunk as hell. We don't understand a word I'm
bro,
fucking
Eddie
saying.
Vedder went from,
Uh,
oh my God, talk about a complete 180. He went from fucking at home drawing pictures, like jumping up on rafters and shit, to him and his little ukulele doing music for
yeah,
Into the Wild. Like, what the
he
fuck
did.
happened?
Yeah, his solo career after that.
Yeah. It was the same thing with Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. He did
Oh God.
really weird.
It's not weird. It's cool, but it's like, bro, I want like you're heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
It's
was.
like when Metallica in the late '90s. That was terrible. What they're
Yeah.
doing their fucking.
Well, he was he was in Pearl Jam and he was in Temple of a Dog for a little bit. Like you think about that and you're like, oh, okay, that's my Eddie
Some of the
Vedder.
Dog is
Great.
it's a very good like around the campfire kind
It's
of
like a
stuff.
super group, man. And
Yeah.
what
Oh
Temple of
yeah.
the Dog was that was the remaining members of Mother Love Bone, because their lead singer Andrew Wood died, and they were
Mhm.
like, "We're going to dedicate this album to him." Because
Yeah.
Chris Cornell was a really close friend. Everyone in that
Yeah.
grunge era was a really close friend of
It's
Andrew Wood.
Seattle. They all came from Seattle and
Yeah,
like
like nobody was.
Mud
Everyone,
Honey,
yeah.
and all those guys
Screaming
are
Trees,
yeah,
the
Swim Trees.
Melvins.
Melvins. Yep.
What about
Yep. Good
Helmet?
one.
Helmet's some good shit.
Oh yes.
But
So
yeah,
you
Temple
went
of
up
the
in my
Dog was
book.
like a tribute album to him,
Mhm.
and then Eddie was their new guy. They're like, we're going to go with him, and then like
Yeah.
that's how he first appeared, was on that song, and because the rest of the Temple of the Dog is, I believe, Chris Cornell on vocals. It's
Yeah.
Chris Cornell and the remaining members of what was Mo Love Bone would turn into Pearl Jam.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think didn't they had at one point the former drummer from before Will Ferrell looking ass got on with uh
Oh. Um.
the Peppers. They had their former drummer,
No,
Jack
so
Jack
Matt
Irons.
Cameron was drummer for Pearl Jam and Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're,
I think
you're
Jack
talking about him.
Irons was the drummer who left and then went and played with Temple of a Dog. I don't know what happened to him after that though. I know he played with them though in like 1990. I want to say
That sounds right.
something like that, and then
Speaking of
then
good covers, Love Roller Coaster, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and
Yeah.
Higher Love. Those are good covers.
yeah,
That'd be in the good. That'd be in the good.
damn,
They did a good job. They did actually do a good job with Love Roller Coaster.
that's
Nirvana on Unplugged doing their cover of the Meat Puppets was good.
Well, they also did that David Bowie song,
Yes, that was good.
"Man Against the World."
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Even
I'll
though
have to
every
listen to
time I
that.
listen to it, because I'm a musician, I'm a guitarist, since it was recorded live, like when he was trying, it was like a pre-solo before the solo happened. He hit like a very flat note, and it just makes me cringe every fucking time I hear that song. And then when he actually does because it's like a pre-solo, then he sings some, and then the solo starts, and then when he hits the note again, he actually gets it right. I'm like, oh, there it is.
yeah.
They left it in recording.
If you go back and listen to it, you know exactly what I'm going to. And I probably just ruined the song for you. I do apologize.
Well,
You're good, but yeah, I think that's covered the song covers I definitely want to go over, because these newer kids are shitting on awesome music.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Unfortunately,
Um,
that's what we have to look forward to now because, like you said, yeah, all the good music
All
basically
the good ones are
ended.
gone.
Yeah, with the 2000s.
I had a couple more topics. Damn, I could save those for another episode.
Yeah, let's save it for episode 6, man. All right, I guess we can go ahead and close it out. Well, good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, this
Well,
is a real good time.
yeah, this has been some good topics covered. Might be some people out there mad at us now.
No, fuck that.
Sorry,
They don't. They have shit taste. That's what it comes down to.
sorry about
Like I said,
that.
you can email us at
Yeah,
Listen, man, dude, Five Finger Death Punch does so much for our troops. Yeah, by fucking hurting their PTSD more and hurting their fucking ears.
like
my God, Trey. I mean, I agree, but
Like, dude, if I was a therapist and a soldier came in to me and was like, man, I'm suffering from PTSD, well, take all your 5-finger death punch and fucking burn that shit because that's not going to help.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's true.
Fucking God sounds like he's moaning like he's been shot or some shit. Oh, there is a house in Sin City. Fuck.
Stop it. You're fired.
Well, thank you all for listening in on to this on this episode of Between Three Beards. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, look forward to episode 6 coming out next week. I think Trey said he had some more topics to
I got
discover.
a few more. One I was going to talk about was movies that woke culture couldn't stomach today.
Oh God.
The problem with today's gaming industry and the rapid progression of technology. Just want to say, with movies that woke culture couldn't stomach today, greatest example was Tropic Thunder. The problem with today's gaming industry is examples, Battlefield 2042 and Cyberpunk. You stole people's money by releasing an unfinished piece of shit. You know what you did. They should stand trial, not Zucker fucking lizard bird whatever. And then rapid progression of technology. Like, where do you think we're gonna be at in 10 years? Like, dude, stuff's getting crazy. Like, we're able to do this now and reach out to hundreds of people. We got electric cars. Just but and it's another thing is like it's like we're having to buy new shit every year to keep up. Like, new phones come out each year, new TVs, new so that's just what I was wanting to cover the other topics. But yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, I just hope everybody had a safe and happy July 4th. Everybody had a good time, didn't get hurt, didn't get too drunk. Well, that's depending on who you are. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Appreciate it. Appreciate all the love, all the listening time you guys put in. We want to keep doing this for you guys. We enjoy it. So yeah, let us know what you want to hear. And thank you all for listening. See you next time.